trip there for the first time since he's been a player. Also made it as the women's coach here at Syracuse, and he's 14 years there. Over at X in the center of the field, Syracuse and Colgate start off. Mason Kohn wins the opening draw for Syracuse. Rather, that was Finn Thompson. So the Orange start off, moving left to right. Jake Stevens with the ball to begin things for SU. Also joins his Princeton transfer.
But gets a goal in the first, 2 minutes of this game. That's huge for Hiltz.
Big throw in Hiltz. You mentioned Joey Spallina. He actually had more assists than goals last season, so you're right. He is better dishing the ball than scoring. 30 of those assists a season ago. That's his 5th on the current campaign. Spallina, the instigator of both goals. One dishing it out, the other piling it in. Mason Kohn in on the faceoff for Syracuse opposite Johnny Hartzell. The sophomore Hartzell had his first career appearance in that opener against Penn State. Won 10 of 21 draws. Colgate pulls away here. But wow, what a strip from behind. Mason Kohn got his stick in the way. That's a cause turnover. Syracuse moves back. Can it be 3? Sam English.
With Mike Leo up there, you'll see Luke Roa getting some shots. It's almost impossible to stop. Look, Matt Lacombe is a great goalie, but that's almost impossible. There's basically nothing you can do because there's just so much power behind that from Leo.
It's almost a guessing game, too. It's like in penalty kicks in soccer where the goalie just has to hope that he gets the right side. Leo went 5-hole, made it work. Syracuse, surprise, surprise on offense again. And here you go, right in front. Tap shot, Mullen just misses wide. Syracuse wins the race for the ball, though, so Spallina. Syracuse has certainly made its mark very early. And speaking of Mark, Will Mark has had very little to do, only one save for him on the only shot he's faced. Syracuse has stayed on offense for a long time, as evidenced here, as here they go. Wow! Right off the face-off, Syracuse scores again. Carter Rice comes through. 4th career goal, 1st of the season for the junior.
I'm not even sure if Carter Rice meant to shoot it there, Jesse. I thought he was trying to pass it, but somehow that ball finds its way into the back of the net. Just incredible.
Minutes for Syracuse to begin the matchup here against Colgate. 2 goals in 8 seconds, the last 2, and that incited a Colgate timeout. Carter Rice follows through from way back. He was looking for the pass, and Christian Mullen just let it go. Syracuse up 5-0 over Colgate. That's why the Orange are a top 10 team in the nation right now. Welcome back into the JMA Wireless Dome with Adam Gotkin. I'm Jesse Cook. There's Carter Rice, first goal of the season for the junior. Short stick defensive midfielder. Don't often see him go up on offense, but Adam, it worked out.
Absolutely, and the whole reason for this being a 5-0 game is that the Orange have just dominated at the faceoff X. 5 of 6 have been won by SU so far.
Colgate head coach Matt Cage Bruin found his space in the 5-hole for the score, so Colgate is on the board. Another win in the faceoff for Syracuse. The Orange, for faceoffs in this game, have won. They can do it in any way possible, but if you end up straight away one-on-one with the netminder, that's not exactly finding something creative. Syracuse going old-fashioned for a lot of these goals, going back to the basics and making it work with a clear shot.
Jesse's up.
Fastest scoring players around. Potted that on a quick turn. Syracuse runs out of the draw. The Orange win yet another one, but quickly give the ball away. Sam Erickson drops back for Michael of late, like you said, but it's still a 5-goal deficit. Colgate steadily trying to work back. Face-off violation there against Mason Kohn, so Colgate takes it. Connor, like you said, he scored the game winner against Penn State on Saturday. That was his first career goal. promising start for the freshman. But Matt Wright hacked the ball away, and he's off for another penalty. Flag that moment. It was maybe half a second to make that decision, but sometimes that's all you need. Colgate starts out with the ball again. After that scrum, the Raiders pull free with it. Syracuse on the turn. That's Billy Dwan. But the Orange throw it away. Colgate ball. Quickly, 3 straight goals, 2 of them to open up this second quarter. Jesse Cook with you. To my right is Adam Gotkin. And these guys on the field are going at it really hard. We've seen a lot of physicality in this one. A big problem for Colgate so far has been ground ball battles. Syracuse winning that 20-8. Syracuse also winning the game because of moves like that, although usually the ball ends up in the net.
Oh, and they're going to call that a pass, not a shot.
Syracuse coordinates well on the man-up opportunity. Last season converted over 56% of the time on the advantage. Doesn't look like anything's really changed here in 2024.
Jesse, what has changed, Jackson Boatwhistle is still hurt. He was the guy who scored a lot of those extra man goals, but he's not even on the field right now, still nursing an injury.
That's right. Syracuse down a couple key attacking players. Midfielder and attacker Max Rosa. Also, like you said, Jackson Burke saved that ball. First career point with that goal. So that's a big moment for the Bismarck Raiders squad. They take the face-off. Hartzell right through. He took a few checks from behind. Colgate wants a foot race for the ball and stays with it. But that's a bad sight for the Raiders. Hartzell, your main face-off specialist, in a little bit of pain. Let's take another look at how it happened. Right from behind, John Mullen went airborne for the tackle, but made some incidental contact, and Hartzell took the brunt on the back end of that play.
Yeah, that's just going to really knock the wind out of you. A massive hit there. It looked pretty clean to me. Talk about that diving trail check to knock that ball out. It wasn't the hit that got the ball out. It was the trail check before that initially got the ball loose. And that's just, things that you love to see. That's the extra kind of, how about this, pumping up your teammates. But it's this all stuff. It's the sport of lacrosse. What makes this sport so special is the fight of these players, the diving. And now, you're hurt, you get up and you pump up the crowd.
Yeah, that's what you love to see. Guy goes down, an important player to the roster. It looks like it could be serious, and he's okay. So that's really bright going into 2024. Scored 1 goal on the man up at Penn State, so that's his second goal on the advantage this season. Syracuse right out of the face-off controls. Face-off battle in this one heavily favors the Orange, 11-4.
That's what's going to win you games, and that's what's going to get you goals. Also, by the way, Michael Leo has just gone in on attack.
This is true. We saw him try a few shots earlier on in the first quarter. Leo already. Second half action about to get going. Mason Kohn and Johnny Hartzell over X. Kohn wins the draw. We saw Hartzell take a nasty fall earlier, exited the game, but glad to see him back on the field. Hate to see guys get injured this early in this. Not an easy thing to do. That man is a freshman. Syracuse has 4 years of that. And with Pat March as his offensive coordinator, there's a good amount of room for him to improve an already stellar string. So 7-7 for Spallina, 7-7 on the goal, and Owen Hiltz. And Mason Kohn fast out of the draw again. Hiltz tries for another. Oh, he got it! A hat trick. 2 goals just like that. Cardiac Cuse causing a heart attack on the Colgate side. Owen Hiltz with a rip. Mason Kohn fresh off the draw with the assist.
It's all because of Mason Kohn, the D3 face-off player of the year at Tufts last season. He didn't play lacrosse for 2 straight years, was a hockey-only player for the Jumbos, then switched back to lacrosse, dominated at the D3 level, and has just been having his way here at Syracuse. And what makes him so good, what makes him special, is that he can pass just as good as your non-Fogos.
Turned it up from D3 play at Tufts. Tried to find Hiltz in that same spot, but the pass was just a little bit too high. Hiltz scored those goals within 6 seconds of each other.
Got one of the best finishes in front in the country. He has that box lacrosse background as the Canadian, but then also a sharpshooter from outside. And then his vision is better than almost anyone else.
Well, Hiltz is camped out at his same spot here, but this time Kohn goes in front, and there's Syracuse scores. Christian Mullen on the board for the first time in this one. Already had a pair of assists. Mullen adds on to his hat-trick performance from Saturday with his first goal here on Monday.
And now the Orange are rolling, and it's all because of what Mason Kohn has done on the X. You saw it earlier with the pass to Owen Hiltz. You see it here, him finding Christian Mullen, and then a really nice finish there. It's not the greatest pass in the world, but Mullen was able to contort the stick in a way where he's able to get the shot past Matt Lacombe. And, you know, you said it, Christian Mullen finally gets on the board today. He had 3 in the first game, and, you know, he's finally starting to find his own here in game number 2.
And that's the second time this quarter that Syracuse has scored directly off the draw. Mullen, of course, played earlier with Cole Kirst, who was a grad transfer for Syracuse last season, who ended up being very productive, leading the team in plenty of categories back in Lehigh. To the left corner. Mason Kohn tied up at X. Kyle Rummel, the face-off specialist, in for Colgate now. Rummel went 2 of 8 in Saturday's win. That ball trickles out the end line and goes back to the Raiders. Turner came in as a highly anticipated prospect for Colgate. 89th best recruit in the nation, 4-star for Colgate. That was right at the beginning of Matt Carlett's career with the Raiders, just his second recruiting class. Shoulder off to the sideline, and that gives the ball right back to Colgate. Syracuse attacks 4 players around the ball carrier. Finn Thompson picks up. This has been the big battle
this season, and we haven't even reached the 4th quarter in game number 2.
That's right. Spallina, 7 points back on Saturday, 9 today. 4 goals for Spallina. He's tied his career high in points with 9. He's building something special in this one. Again, Syracuse historically has been very good against unranked non-conference opponents when playing at home. Bit a different story. Men's basketball, the Orange engineered that 24-point comeback to beat the Raiders. First win in 3 seasons there. Women's ice hockey, it's been a couple of big shutouts for the Colgate women's squad on top. This time, Syracuse dominating in a big way. Mason Kohn adds his first goal in Orange and his first goal at the D1 level. A Colgate team that was riding the high of winning the second quarter now looks utterly lost, just 45 miles from home.
I said it earlier, what makes Mason Kohn such an elite player is not just that he wins faceoffs, it's what he does after that, the stick control, and how about that shot to bounce it past the keeper in Matt Lacombe.
Kohn receives some high praise sitting there on the bench and gets a well-earned break from the face-off X. Matt Korek not quite as happy as Mason Kohn at the moment. This game was well within reach at the beginning of this 3rd quarter. It was a 3-goal deficit. Colgate had the momentum. Syracuse now up by 9. Kohn was the defense.
The one team that the Orange don't play, well, Colgate beat them.
So that does tell you a lot about A, how this season could look, B, about Gary Gates' mentality. You set up your own schedule. You pick who you play, and he said, I want the best you got. Of course, a lot of that talent rests in the ACC. Sophomore attack out of British Columbia out on the west coast of Canada, swarmed in there after giving a motivational speech to his teammates between quarters, firing them up before giving way to his head coach, Matt Krulik. Syracuse in close, trying to undo any of the momentum and motivation that Favaro's speech and that latest goal would have done.
Two flags down.
Obviously, Max Gates, an off-ball
Point, they just got to make it a real thing where there's a little trophy, whoever wins the most in-state games, because it feels like there's kind of this tournament, almost like you have in the Big Five in Pennsylvania, Philly basketball. You need something like that here, I think.
Flags out there, maybe.
Technical push. 3-6 white, technical push.
There you go. That one called against Syracuse. A technical push against John Mullen. He had that great check earlier that freed up a ball from Johnny Hartzell, although it resulted in a penalty at the end of that play. Can't do that. Check from behind. But Adam, I like what you're saying about the New York Cup. Maybe they can work something like that out, although you do have the crowd. And going ahead for Syracuse, you mentioned the injury issues. No Max Rosa,